So, Jennifer, tell me, you were around the same age. I'm sure you grew up like I did watching Kevin Costner sports
Of course.
movies. What was it like when you sort of, okay, I'm going to do Draft Day with Kevin Costner?
I could not have been more excited. I loved the script just as it was. Really, any guy in this role would have a blast because it is a real guy's role, you know. But the fact that it was Kevin just elevated the whole movie to a whole nother level for me.
One of the things I think that's also really interesting about the movie is I'm someone who was forced to play football, so I'm not a big fan.
Really?
But like, loved the movie and thought like, it's so great that this movie really works. If you're a fan, you'll know every little reference, and if you're not,
Well, that's what's so fun about it is there's such a great romance at the center of the movie, and there's so many great familial relationships that are being explored and exploited and messed with in this film that, to me, it's a little bit of a chick flick that's just wrapped up in football. So the girls should go see this movie and they'll make their husbands happy by taking them, or the guys can be like, I definitely want to see this Costner football movie, and I'll take my wife because there's a love story in the center.
well, I think that's interesting. What I've been thinking about, today's too, is that interesting thing about sports movies is really not really about the sports.
It has
it's all
to
a
be
metaphor.
a good movie.
Right.
It just has to be a good movie. If you think of Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, I'd never watched baseball when I loved those films. And now I'm a baseball fan, but back then I didn't know anything about baseball. But still, if you said, what are, 10 of your favorite movies, Bull Durham would have been on that list for sure.
Can you tell me a little bit about working with and basing your character on the real capologist of the Browns?
Well, I don't know if Megan Rogers, who is the capologist of the Browns, would feel like we work together. I would feel like she might feel like I interrupted her work to bug her and make her explain to me what she was doing when she was very busy trying to do it. She was so generous with me, Megan, and she was so open to me kind of fishing around on her desk and seeing. I kept taking pictures because she would have Post-its on top of legal documents that were safety pinned onto a legal pad, and then she would freak out and say, you can't look at any of this, it's confidential. So she was kind enough to mock up, just change enough numbers and enough names that I could still get the idea, and she could explain it to me from there without seeing things that were confidential, even though it would have meant nothing to me anyway. She's a real pro that way.
I think that, part of this movie actually feels like it could be based on a true story. I mean, when you were watching her, did you think, oh, I'm going to nick as much as I can from who she is?
Absolutely. I nicked from Megan not just the way her papers looked, but the way she walked, the way she dressed, the way kind of her serene nature. But there's something about Megan that she knows more about football than anyone. She's smarter than anyone, and she is as nice and as calm as can be. But if she needs to bring down the hammer, she's not afraid to bring it down. And that's something that was already written into Allie, but knowing Megan made it a lot easier to play.
And did you grow up being a football fan?
I did. I love football. I grew up in West Virginia, which is, in the tradition of Texas or states like that, Friday Night Lights, it's all about your local football team, and I was at every single game.
Because you were
in the marching band, and I had to be there for halftime.
What did you play in the band?
I played the saxophone, and we used to ride on the bus with our big helmets, our big hats on for the away games, and it was a big deal.
Do you ever get to play a sax anymore?
Unfortunately, no.
No.
The last time I played was on the Donnie and Marie show about 17 years ago. I played Make the World Go Away for Donnie Osmond.
Wow. I was going to say, my guess is someone probably tried to pull it out at a talk show at some point. Yeah. And then tell me a little about working with some of the real-life athletes who, the greatest thing about this movie, I think, too, is that it's really the NFL insider and the way they sort of really embrace the movie and, the access you guys had. And
if you love football, this movie is going to be so satisfactory because there are so many references. There are so many. It's very current. We had Arian Foster in our cast. He's really good actor and a serious player, and that was so much fun for all of us just to have that. We'd be like, oh, you're the real deal. But the NFL was imposed nothing but was incredibly collaborative and open to us, and let us shoot at the actual draft. So that's just the beginning of what they gave us access to, and you feel that collaboration when you watch the movie, for sure.
And what did you think about sort of like, I don't think people would initially think like the front office is as exciting as it actually turned out to be, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that people realize what a business it is and how much goes into every decision and how strategic these things are and how much of a chess game it is between the personalities inside a franchise, like the coach and the GM, and also among different GMs from different teams, and the trades, the picks, all of the scouting, all of the courting that goes on of players. It's really, really fascinating and so well drawn, I think, by the writers for this film.
And you also get to have a lot of great one-liners. I think some of your interaction with the guy who plays the intern is really priceless. I mean, was it fun to be? I've heard you say, you're usually on a set with 8 guys for every 1 woman. But was it weird to be in this world with this character here?
I'm always comfortable in a big group of guys. I feel really, I don't know why, because I only have sisters, but I feel really at home just being one of the guys. And this movie was that in spades. I had a blast with all these guys. Dennis Leary is as hilarious as you want him to be, and much more of a puppy dog than you ever expect. And these, all of these guys, it was the one-liners were ripe for the picking, and these guys deserved every bit that I gave them.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.